Hello and welcome into a brand new video which is called how to make a video game in Unreal Engine 4 under 1 hour. So in this video I want to try to create a usable and playable video game in about 1 hour, and I don't know what I will be working on. Basically I don't have the script, I don't know the steps. I want to do this on the run. And also second rule is that I won't be editing this video, so if I make a mistake I will try to fix it live, so to say. And like I said, I don't want to make this like a tutorial, but rather like a live video footage of development, and discuss the development process itself. And don't forget to use the comment section and leave me your thoughts, your feedback. What would you like to see in the upcoming videos? And I think I might turn this into a video series with similar content, in which I'll be creating video games, some systems, discussing things, and sharing my knowledge. And yeah, let's jump right into the development. Alright, so I'm inside the project, and I like to use a third-person template project for exercises and things like this. And let's start, and let's first of all create some folders. And I have blueprints, maps, and I know that I'm going to need materials folder, and BPs, that's fine. Alright, so my idea to create something is to basically have some sort of like presents that you can collect, like present boxes, and you can create lives. So basically something like Santa Claus in Trouble. If you don't know the game, I will show it to you quickly. And so basically we have our third-person character who will be running around, jumping around, and collecting things, and we'll also create something like a gate in which you can end your level, and you might be able to go to the next level, but I think I won't have the time to do that. And also I will create a HUD or user interface. So let's get started. Alright, I'm first going to create some blueprints, and blueprints folder, blueprint class, select actor. I'm going to make this blueprint pp underscore, sorry for my spelling, pp underscore present, right? And I'm going to place it inside the world immediately, and I'm going to edit it straight away. Right, full screen. Right, first thing that I like to do when I develop with blueprints is to replace this blob in the middle, and I can do that by replacing the default scene root component. I have to add scene component. I'm going to replace it just like this. So now it's less obstructive. It's empty inside the world. All right, I can now go back and add cube. I like my presents to be cube shaped. And I also want to make it smaller. I think something like 0.25 should do it. And I also want to assign a more beautiful color to it. So it's time to create my first material. And m underscore, let's call it base, because I'll be using material instances. Right, inside our base material, I'm going to hold 3 on my keyboard, and this will give me vector3 variable, and I'm going to convert that into parameter and call it base color. Also, I think I should play with emissive as well, so I'm going to make constant 1 by holding 1 on my keyboard and holding M because I want to use multiply node. And I will connect this to emissive color, and base color is going to be connected to the A input of multiply node, and 0 is going to be converted into parameter and will be called emissive strength. I hope I spelled this correctly, and default value is going to be 1. Apply, save. All right, and I'm going to explain what I just did. All right, so I have this base color node, which gives me a choice of 4 inputs. As you can see, we have red, green, blue, and alpha. We won't be using alpha, but hey, actually we could use this as a multiplier, but I like to keep things separate like this. And this node is driving our base color, and let's change the default color to something like green, something friendly. I think this shade of green is fine. And emissive strength. So this color is being multiplied by emissive strength. By the way, emissive can be more than just 1.0. It can be 5.0 if you want. If it can be even 10.0, doesn't matter. And you can play with this and make something interesting. And in this particular case, I don't need neither metallic, specular, roughness. If I'm going to need them later on, I can always add them. But anyway, I will keep my material as simple as possible, just like it is at the moment. Click apply, save, and close it. And I can minimize this. All right, and let's create our material instances straight away. And right click, create material instance. And let's call this mi_present and Control S to save. And let's open it. All right, and now we can see that we can override the default values. And let's do it actually, because I don't quite like this particular green color. Let's make this something more towards green, something like this. I think it's better. All right. Okay, and the emissive strength, I won't add anything for my presence. No, actually, you know what? Let me copy this color, and I'm going to change this to red for my present boxes. And let's do something like pure red. I like this color. All right. Okay, and save. But the color that I've copied, I'm going to create another material instance, and this one is actually going to be for lives for our character. So I'm going to right click and duplicate and call this mi_life. So whenever our player collects this box, this will give him another life. So you will start with, you know, it's like a standard thing. Back in days, you would start with just 3 lives, and you can collect additional ones to prolong your career, I would say, in your game. Anyway, now I'm going to paste the green color to our life material, and I'm going to override the emissive. This one is going to be like 5. And I'm going to change the emissive, something like this. Maybe it's too bright actually. Let's put it back to 1 or 1.5. And yeah, I think it's okay as it is right now. A bit more green. All right, save, and present will have emissive strength set to 0.5, or actually 0. I'll disable it. All right, I can close the materials, and now I have my 2 material instances. One is green with a little bit of emissive, a little bit of glow, and the other one has no glow whatsoever. And this one is going to be used for, well, as its name says, as present material, and this one will be for the light. Right, let's do that. So I'm inside present, and the cube, I have to change the material here, so I'm going to type in mi_present, click save, and that's done. And let's actually create life as well. And first of all, I want to make sure that my box is central relative to the rest. And let me go into other perspective. Yeah, seems like it is centralized. Just have to disable night light. All right. And yeah, it seems like it is centralized indeed. And you can hold Alt and G, Alt and H, Alt and J, Alt and K for different perspectives of your viewport. So yeah, this one seems to be on the center. And now I can go back and holding Control and W, I'm going to create BP_live, and I'm just going to change the shape as well and the color. This one I want to be sphere, right? Sphere. This one is going to be sphere, and I'm going to change its material to green and save. And this is enough for the moment. Now let's go back and create some actual game mechanics. All right. So mechanics for this particular case can be stored inside our third-person character, because our game is going to be fairly simple, very, very simple. All right. I'm going to store most of the variables here, and you want to add that in separate classes in other scenarios, but hey, for this particular use case, this is just fine. All right, let's create some variables. And I know that I have to create variable number that is going to be counting my number of presents that I've collected, also lives. And let's do that. Let's call this presents collected. And let's change the variable type to integer. Compile and save. Also, I'm going to duplicate this and call this lives. And now I have to change the default value to 3 and compile and press OK. And now I'm going to go back to my blueprints, BP live, and I have to open BP present as well. All right, so if we were to place our presents and lives now inside, let's do that actually. I'm going to just place a few of them. Oops. I'm just going to place a few of them inside our world so that we can debug and test our game. So this is going to be present. I need some lives, and lives are going to be this. So their actual positions don't matter as of now, because this is just for the debugging purposes. But later on, I will hopefully have the time to make this more neat a little bit. And also, let's create something like a gate as well. Right, right click, another actor, BP, let's call it end gate. All right, and I'm going to place this inside my level about here. So my idea is to, when our character reaches about this position, so that it has an option to basically finish the game, and we will have condition which you have to fulfill. You will have to collect all the presents that are inside the level in order to be able to pass to the next level, basically finish the game. So that's going to be our condition. Right, and as you can see, as I'm moving around, I can't go through these objects, so I have to fix that. I'm going to escape and go inside my blueprints, and let me make some space. All right, so what I have to do is change the collision type for this one, and we have block all dynamic, and I'm going to change that to overlap only pawn. Compile and save, and I'm going to do the same thing for present as well. So collision preset, overlap only pawn, and compile and save. Let's test that very quickly. All right, I can now go through them, which is fine. I need to turn down my heater. All right. Right, so I just took a few seconds of break to turn down my heater. I'm back. And all right, so let's also create some menus so that we can debug our blueprints. So we are now going to create a user interface. Let's add folder for that, and let's call it UI. And let's create a user interface widget blueprint WBP. Always follow the right standard naming convention. Widget blueprint underscore, let's call it HUD. It's fine. Control save. And yeah, let's call it straight away. Make sure to always get your things fixed up from the get-go. And event begin play. Let's find it. If it's not present, I'm going to create one event begin play. And from that node, I'm going to create widget and get player controller. If I'm not explaining things, as I said, this is not a tutorial necessary. This is more like live session, but I'm trying to explain as many things as I can on the go. And all right, and now I have to add that to viewport and compile, save. Now I'm going to go back into my HUD and create some things, and let's make something very, very basic so that we can see if it's even working. So text, let's add text, compile, save, and let's add that to the middle. Right, about this alignment, I think it's fine. Place this one to 0 and alignment to center, and also this one should be 0.5, I think. Yes, and let's put it down a little bit. Yeah, something like 50 pixels should do it. Compile and save, and let's test it quickly. All right, so I can see that HUD is appearing here on the top of my screen, which is fine. And let's do that. Actually, I mean, do what? Let's add more text. And I'm going to create text for lives and text for presents. And this one is going to be here somewhere, right, like this. And the alignment is going to be to the left. And position to, no, actually 50 is fine. Alignment 0, and I need 50 offset. So this is going to be lives, txt underscore lives, compile, and this one in the middle is going to be for the time. I will also implement the timer if I have the time, no pun intended. And this one I'm going to delete, but I'm going to copy that from this one. And I want to copy transforms, anchors, and hopefully I can use that function. Actually, I can't. And this one is going to be 0, and alignment to -1. And why is this not working? Let's see. Oh, the alignment. I have to fix it like this. And let's see, size to content actually should be checked. This one as well. The middle one as well. So this is going to be txt time. Compile, save. This is going to be lives. This is going to be presence, and alignment. Oh, 1 should be the alignment. Sorry, my mistake. And position should be -50 and -50. Oh, actually 50, sorry. Like I said, if I make a mistake, well, this is the part of development. Mistakes happen. It's not always perfect. Anyway, so I had to connect this with the rest of the system, which is settled inside here. So this particular piece of code or piece of blueprints, group of blueprints, is calling up HUD, our widget blueprint HUD, and we are going to use these variables to drive these texts. And let's do that. Let's go to graph of our widget blueprint, and on event construct is like the equivalent of event begin play, but this one is for user interface and basically, yeah, user interface stuff. So let's do the casting, cast to third person character. All right, and I have to now get player character. Compile, save, and I can promote this to variable and call this ref space third person character. So now I have the variable stored, and I can just use this node to get the data from it directly and easily. Otherwise, I would always have to use this piece of code and always do the casting, and I'm saving myself some time with this. Anyway, let's go back to the designer and text block, and this one is going to be for the lives, as I said. And let's go down, scroll down, and oh, actually it's text. Okay, click on bind and create binding. Oh, actually not, sorry. I don't have to create binding, extra binding, because that would open like a separate function. However, you can already see that I have these properties of my reference third person character, and I can directly click to which variable I want to connect or tie this text. And that is going to be for lives. Yes, all right. So compile and save, and this should be automatically tied to my lives. And let's make a test. Let's say that after 5 seconds we get 1 life, just to test things. And let's make a delay, and let's say that let's put it like 2 seconds. All right, and after 2 seconds the number of my lives is going to be increased by 1. So I'm going to say integer, and I'm going to set that and hook up like this, and let's test. Right, so we can see on the, yeah, the thing is working. On the upper left corner of our screen, we can see that the current number of lives is now at 4. So our thing is working. However, I don't want to have it like this. This is for the just for the testing purposes. And I'm going to disable this. And I'm going to now do the same thing for presence. And let's do it for the presence. Again, we can get binding and presence. All right, like this. But if we go back and play, we can see that we have only numbers. We don't know what 3 means. What does 0 mean? We don't know that, and we need a little bit of formatting. Maybe this would actually be better if I created a separate binding, and I can do that just fine. I'm gonna create binding, and this one is for, sorry, for text. Okay, so I'm going to get the reference, and I'm going to get presence collected, and I need to append text, actually append string. This A is going to be presence colon space, and the integer, the variable itself, is going to be connected like this, and hook it up, and this one should be fine. Press OK and apply, and I mean compile, and let's do the same thing for lives, binding, create binding, and basically it's going to be pretty much the same thing, although it won't be presence but actually lives. And I just have to change this thing, get lives, and do it like this, replace that, and now I have to, why is this actually not working? Oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing. Sorry. Okay, I've clicked on the color. Color should be remove binding. The value has to be changed, so this one has to be changed. Light texts, yes, I can do like this, and yeah, it should work. So, however, this one should be changed from presence to lives, and save, compile, save again, and let's test it quickly. Right, so I have 0 lives, and I have lives on the both sides, which is wrong. And let's go back. So this one should be let's see. This one is for presence. All right, so I have to rename that particular function. This one is going to be get text presence collected, compile and save. Yes, this one is getting presence, and this one should be get lives. All right, and I need to change the output node. Output. Return node, and do it like this. It's not output node, it's called return node actually. And let's check right now. So this one is using presence collected. However, this one is going to be using get text lives, compile, and let's test things now. I have 3 presents and I have 0 lives, which is again wrong. Let's go back and see where is the problem. Right, so get text lives. This one is getting lives. Okay. However, this one says presence. It should be saying lives. Right. And this one is saying lives. It should be saying presence. Let's test things now. Lives on the left, 3. Presence on the right, 0. That's good. All right. I fixed that one. Thank God. Anyway, proceeding. Let's save things, and I can now implement the functionality of collecting boxes and lives. And it's time to go back to our BP_life and BP_present. And I need box collision. And I have to center that. And let's do it like this. Actually, I'm going to show you 2 different techniques how you can do the same thing. BP_life is going to be using a technique without separate box collision. However, BP_present is going to be using separate way of collision detection. Anyway, I'm going to delete this. Delete this. I'm going to, oh sorry, what I just deleted, the wrong thing. Yeah, box collision, I don't need that. This one is going to be live mesh, compile, save. And all right, so let's go to event graph. Now right click on live mesh and add event on component begin overlap. That's now our event, and something is going to happen. Now we have all these extra nodes. Other actor. So which one is overlapping? This allows us to check who or what is overlapping our live mesh, and we have to use cast to third person character. So if this actor that is overlapping our live mesh is third person character, then on successful we'll be able to do something. On failed we'll be able to, well, do something else. And we won't be programming anything because we don't want to do anything if the one who is overlapping our actor or our life is a third person character. So we only care about this. So I'm going to now go back to my character, and I'm going to create separate event and right click custom event, and I'm going to call this one, actually I could have made a function, but event is fine as well in this case. Anyway, so let's call this event increase life, or yeah, increase lives. I always care about grammar, but not as much about spelling. I'm just kidding. Anyway, increase lives. I'm going to do something when this event is triggered. And if I go back to my third person character, oh sorry, I meant to say BP_life. So when third person character, when our mannequin, our hero, overlaps our live mesh, we want to call increase lives. And so the order of code execution goes from left to right, and this one is going to be programmed here. And let me program it now. I can reuse this piece of code or blueprints, and current lives. Now, the number of current lives is going to be increased by 1. And I'm going to connect it like this, compile, save. And yeah, I think we can test it now. All right, let's play. And if I collect green ones, you can see on the upper left corner that my number of lives is getting increased. However, you can see that the lives themselves are not disappearing, and I can just like this spam and cheat basically. So this is a bug that I should fix now. So on component begin overlap by third person character, I want life to disappear. So I have to right click and type in destroy actor and connect it here like this, compile, save. And actually, I think this might yield false positive error, because here's what's going to happen. As I said, I'm not 100% sure about this case, but sometimes you have to be careful about the order. I mean, you should always be careful about the order of the execution of functions and events. So in this case, it might return null pointer because I'm destroying the BP life before I'm actually doing something. So in order to be extra safe, I think this should be better to do like this. I'm just going to swap the order, compile, save, and test now. And now I can't spam anymore. I can just collect the lives that are inside the level. And let's do the same with presence. However, as I said, I'm going to be using different way of overlapping just for the sake of demonstration. In Unreal Engine, you always have multiple options and you can always do the same thing in different ways or using different techniques. Overlap all dynamic, that's fine for this one, and I'm going to change this to something like 0.5. Oh no, actually I need to increase that. Yeah, something like this should be fine. So box extent is being multiplied by this, and default values for box extent are 32 by 32 by 32, and I can actually change that to 50 by 50, or I can even play with this a little bit. But before, I'm going to change this back to 1, and I'm going to change this to 60, 60, and let's call it 120. Let's go crazy. Compile and save. And yeah, let's copy the piece of code from BP Life. However, I won't be copying this. Control copy. And just like with BP Life, but a little bit different, now I have to right click on the box collision actor itself, add event on component. Oh, sorry, not end overlap. I need add event component begin overlap and paste the code and connect the things. Other actor. However, this one will be increase presence or connect presence. So let's make another custom event inside our third person character, and presence collected. I'm going to take that, add 1, set the presence collected to the new number, and hook it up like this. All right. Save. And let's see. Let's call it presence. Oops. Sorry, how did I name? I didn't name it actually. Collect present. Let's call our event like that. Go back into presents, BP present, collect present. Hook it up with the rest of the things and save. And now I can test that as well. As you can see in the viewport, we actually can visualize the collision bodies inside the viewport itself. All right, let's test things. And I'm first going to collect lives and collect presents. All right, I'm going to connect the fourth one as well. All right, and now what I want to do is to add the condition. I want to program the gate, the game gate, and program the condition so that we can only finish the game if we have collected all the presents. All right, let's do that. And let's see. So in order to make it easier for us to count the number of presents, we have to use a bit of coding. And of course, this is all coding and programming and scripting. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use construction script inside my third-person character, and I'm going to make it so that it collects before the start of the game. It's going to collect all the presents that are present, well, no pun intended, present inside our level, and it's going to count them, and then we are going to store this as a variable which we'll be using to compare the results at the end of the game. All right, let me show you how it's done, and then I'm going to explain things again. So let's call this variable total presents. And we are not going to set default value. It's going to be calculated automatically for us. By the way, construction script is being called before event begin play, before event graph. This is not for runtime. This is for editor purposes, or for before the actual, well, as I said, before the actual runtime. And let's do get all actors of class. And I am going to type in, I need presents collected, right, like this. And I have this returns array of actors, and I'm going to see what's the length of this array, how many, basically how many, what, I forgot what's the word, but anyway, what's the length, how many things that I have inside my array. And let's get length, it's just length, array length. And it's, let me see what's the word actually, how many elements. Okay, that's the word, elements. So basically, length function is going to tell me how many elements do we have inside our array, and it's going to output integer, and I'm going to promote that as variable, and I'm going to call it, oh, actually not, I'm going to delete this because I already have it, total presents. And I'm going to connect that like this, and I'm going to remove the old one. All right, and now coming back to event graph, that's fine for the moment. Let's go back to our gate. Let's create our gate. All right, so edit blueprint, and I'm going to play a little bit with boxes. Actually, you know what? let me do things differently. I'm going to construct my gate inside the viewport like this, and right, I want this to be thin, like 20 by 50, and I need I want it to be a little bit taller like this, and place it down, and I need another one and another one. So this is like doorstep, sort of. And yeah, it looks funny, of course, but it's going to be functional, definitely. And this is going to be my gate. And let me change the size of it. And let's put it something like 180. Right? Align it like this. And now I'm going to save all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the boxes and go inside details, and there should be an option for combining meshes into a single one. Let me find it. Okay, create static mesh. I'm going to use this one, and I can create a new folder, won't hurt. Static meshes, and save this static mesh inside this folder, and I'm going to name this sm_gate, create static mesh, save, and I'm going to delete it from the world itself, and I'm going to place it inside our bp_endgate, and I need static mesh and sm_gate, something like that. And I need to reposition it because the pivot is off, and I can now use different perspective. Compile, save, in order to save things, and it's aligned now. And I'm actually going to create a separate material so that it's kind of glowing, and let's do that quickly. Materials, another one, mi_gate, and let's make this one yellow, something like this, and let's make it glow. I think that's cool. Not the best glowing material in the world, but hey, I think it's fine. And let's call this, let's find the gate material and replace it. Wow, it actually looks better than I thought it's going to be. And okay, now let's program the functionality, and we need box collision, and I'm going to place it inside the doorstep, but first I need to make it larger, like this. 120 I think should be fine. Let's go to the other perspective to align it a bit better. Yeah, 120 is the perfect number. In this case, let's go to the other perspective, so let's make it wider. I think, well, actually this one is not centered. I think it is now. and this one should be 70, like this, and y value should be 25, because these numbers get multiplied. That's how it works with extents. And compile, save, and go to event graph, right click, add event on component, begin overlap, and we have to do the same cast to third person character. And now we have to add the condition. If we have collected all the presents, then it's going to let us complete the level and the game itself. If we haven't collected all the presents, it's going to tell us, hey, please go back and collect all the presents. Right, let's do that quickly, and we can then wrap up the video. All right, and I'm going to create another event inside my third person character, custom event, and I'm going to name it check if all presents are collected. Actually, I'm going to make function out of this. I'm going to call it, because I was using until this time I was using events, but now I want to use this as a function just to demonstrate. F check if presents are collected, and then I'm going to go back, right, and endgate is going to call F check if presents are collected, and now I'm going to program that. I need output if it's going to, oh no, it's probably called return node. Yeah, it's called return node. Okay, I need branch, and this one is going to be connected here. This one is going to be return node. Okay, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare if presents collected is the same with total presents, and I'm going to compare. Actually, I don't need this one, so it's going to be comparing these two. So if presents collected is equal or bigger, although there won't be cases with this, but hey, anyway, let's implement that as a fail-safe functionality. If it's equal or bigger, we are going to say, okay, you have finished the game. If it's less, it's going to call something else. It's going to tell us, go back and please collect the remaining presents. All right, and let's go back to event graph, and now I'm kind of regretting that I made this as a function, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to use custom event again, because this one is actually better candidate for event, and I'm going to name this one check if all presents are collected. However, for these ones, I could have used functions, but anyway, the principles are still the same. And let me paste the code, and I have to change this to represent my event. So I'm going to call event instead of function, and go back here and compare. All right, and I can add extra variable, which is going to be a Boolean type, and I'm going to call it game finished, and default value is going to be false. And what am I going to do with this? I'm going to add extra text here, and inside our HUD, and it's going to be driving if we are going to display end game text or in other case. And let's continue. All right, so coming back to third-person character, we are going to compare, and I'm going to, well, actually I can do it separately. I can create separate widget blueprints and do the same thing. So I don't have to have everything stored in here. Well, I could, but let's go back and create another widget blueprint. And let's call this one WBP underscore end game. And let's call it straight away I can still use this variable, however. All right, I'm going to reuse some code from here. And so once I go through the gate, it's going to check if all presents are collected. And if and let me see, actually. Let's do it like this. I'm going to change the order of these things. And connect like this. Compare. So basically, I'm changing this from a macro function to simple function that is going to set the variable here. And I could have used this one as well, although this technique is a bit more neat. I could have used something like this. So something like no, actually it would be the opposite. But hey, I think this particular technique is a bit more clean. So let's delete that, and I won't need this one actually. And yeah, let's connect this. So if presents collected is greater or equal to total presents, it's going to say yes. And actually I have to now revert back and do things like this. So it's first going to check the numbers and set the variable, and then it's going to call the widget blueprint, sorry. And let's go to endgame and let's add text in the middle and 0, 0 out. We can size to content, change the alignment so that it's all centered. And I'm going to bind the text, create binding, and I can reuse some of the functionality from our HUD. and let's Control C, and I can paste it here. Event construct cast. I'm going to create variable like that, and I'm also going to get what was my variable called game finished. So let's use proper naming convention. That would be small letter b underscore, sorry, not underscore. So just as a prefix, b game finished. That's the right naming convention. And by default, it's set to false. And come back here, and I'm going to get game finished, and I can promote that as variable as well, but I don't have to, because I'll be doing things otherwise. And I can delete this one. So from here, I'm going to use this one, and now get game finished, and select. I'm going to use select. What can I select? All right, so I'm going to plug this in like this. So basically, if my Boolean variable is true, I can say victory, game completed. False. If it's false, I can print out you haven't collected all presents. Please come back later. Something funny, okay? You can play with this and it doesn't matter. And compile, save. And okay, let's see what else do we have. I think we can actually test things out. And also, if game is finished, I'm going to create blueprint. Oh, sorry, not blueprint. I meant to say branch. After this is done, if the game has finished, I'm going to set the condition. If it's true, then I'm going to just quit game. Compile, save, and let's test things out. I'm going to connect just to presents, not all of them. I'm going to go through the gates, and my text is not being called. All right, let's see what's the reason. Go back to third-person character. It's calling wrong HUD. Okay, it should be calling end game HUD. Let's test again. I think it should be fixed now. And let's give it a try. Okay, it seems to be working. And let's now collect all the presents available and see if, okay, actually I should make this disappear after a few seconds, but I'm going to fix that just in a second. And it has quit the game. I actually want some delay. I don't want that to be as sudden. Delay. I'm going to set it like this. Also, let's set it to something like 2 seconds. And disable input. I want to disable the input listening of my character. Get player controller. And also, if this is true, if this is false, I want this text to disappear after 2 seconds. This text should disappear after 2 seconds. So event construct delay 2 seconds remove from parent. I'm going to remove parent, basically destroys the widget blueprint. Okay, let's save all and test things out. All right, collecting all the presents. Now I'm going to leave out this fourth one. Oh, sorry, I've fallen. And let's see if it's going to disappear. Okay, it's working. Let's collect a little bit of presents. Lives. And I've now collected all the presents inside the level. And victory! Game completed. And this means that our 1 hour video is completed. I don't know what's the exact time, but I think it's a little bit past 1 hour. And the things that are left to be done are to create new folder and build a game. Let's call this one 1 hour game, and let's copy the directory and go to File, Package Project, select Windows 64, paste the direction of our folder directory, wait a minute or two, wait for the process to be completed, and then after that I'm going to test out the game one more time and conclude this 1 hour tutorial, so to say. As I said, it's not a tutorial, but some sort of live development session, something like a fun practice to do. And yeah, like I said, I think I'll be doing something like this on a regular basis. I like this as a practice. But yeah, let's wait for the process of packaging our game to complete so that we can test our game. And let's see if everything is all right. Also, I think in future videos I'll be creating maybe a bit longer sessions, because 1 hour leaves you space only for some features of development. And for example, I wanted to implement something like a main menu, or maybe add more levels, or even add some enemies like opponents that will be subtracting lives from you. And yeah, actually I think that can be as part 2 of this project. And but we'll see what the future holds. And Unreal Engine is still compiling shaders, and we can see that our gate is a bit offset, but hey, please don't judge. And yeah, like I said, there are many things that could be amended, changed, improved, added, etc. But I've tried to stick as many things inside this tight time frame. Yeah. And a few advices that I would like to have, and since our game is still compiling, make sure to have proper folder naming convention, proper hierarchy, name things correctly, try to follow standard, not just for your files and folders, but also for your blueprint codes, your widget blueprints, basically everything that you're doing. It's advisable to follow certain standards so that you can more easily collaborate with others, and that other people can read your stuff, can help you. And if other people are using the standards, you can also jump in and help them. Maybe they have some problems with debugging, they are lacking knowledge to implement certain features. It doesn't matter. Following some sort of standard is always helpful, and it makes communication and collaboration easier for everybody. Also, maybe I could implement GitHub like a source control in for the future tutorials, in order to get like a complete pipeline. But hey, as I said, feel free to leave your comments, feel free to send me messages. I don't want this to be like me and you, like separated thing. I want this to be like some sort of collaboration, like a friendly time, just a casual thing. Make this fun. And yeah, always feel free to contact me, provide feedback. Feel free to bash me. Hey, you did this badly, you could have improved here. Don't hesitate to leave your feedback. I'm always open to receiving feedback. We all make mistakes and we can all learn from each other. And yeah, feel free to do whatever you want. Post comments, tell some jokes, tell some good things that I've done. If you like my humor, which was non-existing in this particular video, but anyway. I can't wait for this compiling shaders process to complete, so I can actually stop talking. And yeah, let's see. Just a few more seconds, I think. Packaging project after compiling shaders is done. I think it's going to take a bit more time for the rest of the process to complete. And yeah, this is why in viewport play and test functionality is very helpful. Imagine if you had to compile every time you made some changes, it would be hell. But yeah, it's a good thing that software is progressing by each day, and our packaging process has just completed. And let's open the directory of our game and launch the .exe. And surprise, our game is working, and let's test it out. I'm going to collect a few presents, a few lives, and yeah, test the things. This one is working. And victory, game completed. And now you can see that I can't control my character, and 2 seconds have passed, and the game has quit. And that's it, the game is working. And like I said, I will probably turn this into video series. And don't forget to leave your comments, your feedback. Feel free to ask me anything that you are interested in. And yeah, until next time, I wish you all the best. See ya, guys. Bye.